on Coast FM 963.
A great specialty show here on Coast FM. It's 21 minutes past 11. I have Carlos CAMACHO, local psychologist, author, musician, playwright, philosopher. What else, Carlos?
Why not try everything? No?
Yeah.
I think it's they're all connected, aren't they? I mean, obviously, there's so many beautiful disciplines and things to do in life. There's just not enough time. But I dabble in a bit of them, and some I continue, some I just take it as an experience. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You practice as a psychologist here on the Central Coast.
That's right. Yep, I've been practicing up here for quite a while now. I've moved up about 5 or 6 years ago, and I still have my practice in Sydney as well, because I've been down there for 20 odd years, so I know a lot of people, and I just commute once a week, go down on a Friday morning, stay overnight, catch up with friends and family, and then work on the Saturday, so it's perfect.
Oh, gee, you're a busy man.
Yeah, I like being busy, you know. It's when I'm not busy, I'm trying to do something else, and that's where I fit in my creative stuff.
Okay, good on you. Got to have an outlet there. Mental health, it's a big thing. It's a big problem these days, isn't it?
It is, and it's one of those things that you can't take an X-ray of and say, there it is. And so that's why you find that it's hard to locate, sometimes ourselves hard to identify. And I think we were talking about this in the first time we met a few weeks ago when I was talking about my book and Charlie, and he didn't know when he was 16 that he was going through depression. Later on in life, obviously, we as adults, we look back and we think, that might have been depression.
We know the difference.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And when we're involved in it, it's hard to identify. That's why it's very important to have good friends, good family to tell us, to advise us when they see that things aren't right.
Yeah, and it's hard to open up, isn't it?
It is, and some for some more than others. And mental health is not an easy subject to bring up, and a lot of it's tied as well sometimes with personality disorder. So the person may believe that their perspective on that issue, which may be totally distorted, is correct. So they're very difficult to also to be able to talk to and to bring to light these issues. Yeah,
and that inner self, that critic inside us that tells us we're not good enough or we can't do something. How does that start? Where does it come from?
Yeah, that's a voice we all have. It's our thoughts. And so the brain is an organ, a miraculous organ, but just an organ, just like the liver is, you know. Yeah. And it's an amazing thing. Look what we've done here. We're sitting in a studio and people listen to us from probably all around the world digitally. So our brain has allowed us many things. But it's the basis of it hasn't changed. Negative thought, which is that voice that tells us, don't do that because you might get hurt. Don't do that because you might make a fool of yourself. Yeah. I'm not good enough for that because it may not work out. That voice has not changed. And that's part of the brain, because the brain by nature is conservative. So when you're about to jump off a rock into a lake, the first thing you think is, what if there's a rock down there? What if I break my leg? And so then you do it, then you can't wait to come back up and jump again because you've convinced your brain that it's okay.
Yeah, because your brain's self-preservation.
That's right. Self-preservation. The brain cares about keeping us alive. Yeah. And so I always say, and that's the same with all animals. If there's a mouse now hiding behind that desk there, and we want to catch it, I can put some cheese out and I can guarantee that mouse is not going to come out until it knows it's totally safe.
Yeah, until we're gone.
That's right. That's exactly right. Because you can survive a few more days not eating, but not if someone with size 14 feet steps on you.
Yeah,
like
that's
me.
right. Yeah.
But, and so what happens is that voice inside of us is always there, but we have to then be able to override that.
How do we do that?
Well, that's where the mind comes in. There's the mind and the brain. The brain is an organ, so we need to make sure that we understand how it works, and then our mind, if you like, we need to talk to ourselves out loud, self-positive talk, and say, okay, that's okay, but you know what? I'm going to jump off this rock because I saw that other person do it, and I've jumped off another one, and it seems like a lot of fun, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to count to 3 and jump, and that's what we do. And in life, whether it's opening up a business, asking somebody out, attending an exam, or booking a holiday or whatever it may be, as domestic and as insignificant it may sound, it's very good to talk out loud with a self-positive voice, because the brain then picks up, it absorbs that, and that's what it will go with.
Okay, I've been trying to do that lately and saying, stop saying that.
The trick is to say it calmly, paused, and also because what happens is that the brain picks up on anxiety. If we're saying, oh, come on, Carlos, you should have done better with that, then my own physical nature of communication is telling my brain the opposite, that I'm anxious and I'm upset.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be convinced. We have to convince it. And that's what method actors do.
Okay.
They convince themselves prior to a scene that they're depressed or they're angry or they're in love. And that's why when we watch a scene, we say, wow, that was great acting. All that happened was they convinced their brain that they felt that way.
Okay, so they really feel the role. So we can convince our brains anything we wanted, really, can't we?
Pretty much. Obviously we're limited by certain things, but in daily life, we are going to feel up, we are going to feel down, we're going to feel sad sometimes, and that's the nature of life. In general, when we know we need to get through something, that's when we need to use this. But we also need time to feel sometimes down. We lose a loved one, and it's important to grieve.
Okay.
And to that grieving part of our life is very important. That we don't need to get back up straight away. So we need to choose when to use it.
Okay, because we tend to bury things, don't we?
That's right, and
don't deal with.
We call that repressing, don't we?
Yes.
We repress it, and it comes out later on somehow.
Okay. Well, thank you, Carlos. And what's your thought that you can leave us with for today regarding the strategies there?
I think today, as you're aware, I try to work in a very practical manner. I think there's times to philosophize, there's times to search for the self, and times to talk about a history. But I'm interested in someone's future, what they're going to do from now till later.
Not backwards.
It's very important, our history, because it brought us together here in this room, yours and mine.
But
and
not grieving on it.
No, we need to think what we have control over. And the practical side of life is important. And that leads me up to this song that I actually requested today.
We've got it right here as we go out of the interview. And thank you so much for coming in, Carlos.
No worries. And there's a line in this song that I love. And he says to her, I spoke of wings, but you just flew. And to me, that is one of the most beautiful lines in pop music. One thing you can philosophize, you can discuss things, but in the end, what really matters is doing it.
Yeah, that's what you say in organisation, isn't it?
That's right.
All right, thanks again. We'll have a listen to that beautiful line in this song here. It's the Waterboys, The Whole of the Moon, on Coast FM at 29 minutes past 11.